moving a little bit. There you go.
We are live. Hi guys, Catriona and Helmut here for our whiskey tasting session. I hope you're all looking forward to having some fun and trying a bit of scotch. So I can see some folks are joining. Apologies, my eyes.
I can see them.
Is so bad.
The Scottish Tourist Guide.
There you go. Hello guys, thanks for joining. We're just going to hold off just for a couple of moments and just let everybody join the party. And I hope you're enjoying the fire going behind us, because we thought there's nothing quite like drinking scotch or a nice single malt whiskey with fire. Just sadly it's not a real one.
Do you mind giving me my book? Sorry.
Oh, there we go. Oh, there. So I hope you guys are all doing all right, and
10 folk.
we're still getting on all right. I'm just going to quickly see what's happening. I'm actually going to watch the feed just now myself.
This is your water, by the way, just in case you need it.
Yeah, I think I will. So I'm going to let Helmut start off. Hi, T.L. McDougall. It's 10 past 2 there. Well, I did say yesterday it's 10 p.m. in Scotland, so that makes it totally acceptable to be drinking, even if it's in Australia or New Zealand right now, which I know it's still in the morning. Have your, or rather it's tomorrow morning, have your whiskey with your breakfast, with your porridge. So hi guys, thanks for joining, folks that are coming in on Instagram. Let's just quickly, this is so slow. Tell me if you want to just get started.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay guys, so we've got a little plan here. Hi Stuart. So what I think we should be doing is actually, so I'm going to turn the clock back a little bit. When we started doing tours, we basically took whiskey with us every time and gave people whiskey. And obviously you get a lot of folk that have never had whiskey, or go, oh, I don't like whiskey, or one time in the past, many moons ago, I got too drunk on it and I can never drink it again. All these different stories. So the idea is, like I have a mission when we're on tour, is that we convert people back to whiskey. Why? Because it's an amazing drink, and once you have opened yourself up to it again, there's so much variety and so many possibilities. Just like people who like wine, for example. So what today is all about is we're going to go through how to taste whiskey without trying to be snobby about things, because when you go to different places and how they taste whiskey and the whole snobbery behind it, that's not really our thing. Our thing is just to try and get the most out of whiskey the first time you taste or try one. And then quickly go through a couple of different whiskies that you might like depending on your palate. So where do we start? We've got a bit of a selection here, from good to bad to cheap but good, all sorts. And where I'd like to start is actually your whole attitude, your whole mental kind of attitude towards it. And that is why a little ritual actually helps. It gets you out of that kind of, oh my god, it's whiskey kind of mindset. The whole idea of this little ritual is just to actually make yourself comfortable and put you into the right mood. So what I'm going to do is, firstly, we're going to, as we talk, we're going to go through a couple of things. One, we'll start with the glass that we drink whiskey out of.
Before we start, I just wanted to say a quick hello, because we've got Cavi, you're in. Hello, Boston. Hello, Boston. Hi, Jamie McDougall, the artist. Jamie McDougall is watching. We've got Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie. Love you. And sorry, I can't, because I'm not wearing my glasses, I have to read it off a computer. So apologies. Stuart and Ian, and we've got Marcos from Brazil. Obrigado. So hopefully you're still trying a little bit of whiskey.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I hope everybody is actually kind of prepared with a little dram that was hidden away in the cupboard for the last 20 years if you're not a whiskey drinker. There's quite a few folk on Instagram. Hi, guys.
Hi, folks. Thanks for joining in. Forgive me, I can't read this far away. It's California. California, yay. There you go.
Hello from California.
So...
Starry skies. 88.
Okay, so we were just, for all of you who have joined in, we're just talking about, really this is just how to drink whiskey and how one should be drinking whiskey, or the best way to drink whiskey actually, because there's no rule.
There's your mom.
Is my mum in?
Yeah,
Oh, hi Mum! And we've got Jennifer and Lynn as well. Hi guys! So just it's just really to tell you the purpose actually of this type of glass that Helmut's got here, this type of glass here, and the best ways to drink it. Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
Cool. Right. So the reason we use a glass like this is a Glencairn glass, and they're not actually that old. They are based on cognac glasses, and one of the reasons they're shaped like this is because they kind of contain the flavors and the aromas that come off the whiskey without the alcohol, the pungent alcoholness coming through as well. So if you nose this first, which you tend to do, you don't have that full-on alcohol fumes coming right up your nose. They kind of stay in the middle, and the rest of them come out the side. So having a good glass is not a is a good idea. Usually bars and stuff give you tumblers. It's not the best thing, but you know, you've got to deal with what you've got. So a good glass goes a long way. These are Glencairn glasses. You can find them online, even on Amazon, and you get them in different sizes, from the little short ones to the bigger kind of nosing glasses. Obviously they're called nosing glasses because most blenders actually use their nose to blend stuff and not actually taste. Anyway, to carry on. What?
Yeah.
Who says that?
No, I think my mum. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, my mum's giving us pointers again. You need to project your voice.
So the other thing is to get yourself a whiskey that is probably, if this is the first time that you try whiskey, it's ideal that you use something from the lowlands or from Speyside and don't go straight for something from Islay or the Highlands. So what we've got here is a wee selection, and funny enough, the first one, the one that we're actually going to do the first tasting with, is a Glenmarnock from Islay. Now, the thing is that this is actually a fairly cheap one, but it is really good. So just because something is cheap doesn't mean it's bad.
And that's an Aldi.
An Aldi one, yeah.
An Aldi whiskey, guys, because Aldi, they didn't used to do it, but they started doing it maybe a year or two ago.
Yeah,
roughly off the top of my head, they started doing whiskey, single malts, I should say. These are all single malts that we're going to be trying tonight. I think they used to do a blend, or they used to sell blends at least, but they started doing their own range. And I need to make that very clear, because we should actually just mention that basically how it works is that they buy so many casks from a said distillery, and they can then brand it with what they want on it, and quite a few people do that. So just in case you're like, I've never heard of that particular distillery before, that's why it doesn't exist.
However, it is a single malt, so that means that Aldi has bought it from a single distillery on Islay.
Yeah.
And we've tried to kind of get to it, and it's probably one of the bigger ones.
I think it's a Diageo's anyway.
It's a Diageo's, probably Kulila.
I think it's like Kulila because it's slightly lighter.
Yeah. So off to the tasting. Right. So there's a couple of things we're going to do. Again, this is not to try and be all snobby and weird about whiskey tasting. This is more about getting rid of some things in your head and at the same time putting yourself in the mood. So I pour too much. Usually we just pour just a little bit.
That's a helmet measure.
And so the first thing we're going to do is have a wee look at the color. That's why I put so many lights on, because we do want to see what the color looks like. Golden, usually bourbon barrels, a little bit more reddish, usually a bit older, and it'll most likely be in some sort of port or sherry cask that it's been aged or maybe finished.
That's a bourbon.
So,
is it?
yeah, this is
I'm looking
definitely
at
a
the wrong
bourbon.
one. That's
So-
a bourbon colour.
And it's also not very old. So it is worth saying that in Scotland you are allowed to colour your whiskey with caramel colouring. It doesn't add any flavour, it just allows them to make a bit of a colour change. So it makes it sometimes a bit difficult to really judge the whiskey, which barrels, how old, etc., just from the colour itself. Anyway, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to shake it around a bit. And one of the things that happen is that you're going to have, just like in wine, a lot of people, if you like wine, if you've ever been to wine tasting, there's some similarities here. You're going to look at the legs, and the legs are basically a type of alcohol, oily alcohol that forms on the side, because the water inside actually evaporates not as fast as the alcohol does. And so you've got like a slightly watery, oily bit hanging on the sides.
Called the legs.
The legs, or the tiers, or the windows of the cathedral. So what you do is
I don't know, did you hear that?
the thinner and quicker they go down, the lighter the whiskey, the more kind of it sticks, and the slower it runs down, the kind of thicker and oilier and heavy it is. So usually you'll find this is quite typical. This is quite a heavy whiskey. It's from Islay. They are kind of renowned for their kind of more fuller, heavier whiskies. If you go to Speyside or down to the lowlands, the Auchentoshan's, whiskies like that, the legs aren't as thick and heavy. So that's where we start. We have a look at it, we appreciate the color. Ideally we sit in the sunshine and appreciate it that way. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll have a bit of a nose. So be careful, depending on what you've got. You don't want to just go, pull it all in there, because you might get a bit of a, headache. So you just give it a quick smell.
Sorry, Mick Mancini just wrote, nice legs helmet.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi John. Hi everybody who's just come in as well.
See, look at that. You
Christian.
do a whiskey theme, and you've got tons of people watching again. See that? It's always the booze that attracts the people.
I know. Nobody wants to watch me talking nonsense.
So one of the things we're doing when we're nosing it is that we're trying to... Whiskey is just like wine. You're trying to figure out all the different flavors that you can find in it. It's not just a case of, oh, here's strong alcohol, let's get drunk. There's a little bit of an appreciation of what they were trying to achieve with the way that they distilled the spirit, how long they aged it, which barrels, and what kind of warehouse, etc., etc. So you can deduce quite a few things just by smelling it. So this one obviously is from Islay, so you can smell the peat quite clearly. It's quite sharpish, and that's why I think it's Lagavulin or Kulila. It's got a bit of a sharpness to it, yet oily. So, and then you will have the obvious kind of caramels and stuff like that coming through, including some fruitiness. So everybody will smell slightly different things. So don't worry if you don't. It's entirely a taste and a personal matter. And then what we're going to do is, without any water, without anything added, we try and make sure that it's roughly room temperature, and we take the first swig. And this is where the important bit comes in. And this really works as well. Take a decent swig and hold it in your mouth for a couple of seconds. Let it burn, and until the burn goes away before you actually swallow it.
They usually say, if you have an aged whiskey, they usually say hold it in your mouth for as long as as old as the whiskey is in seconds. So if it's a 12-year-old, you hold it in your mouth for 12 seconds. The other thing that Helmut didn't mention, which I usually do, is when I drink, when you go to taste it, is you have to smell it first, but with your mouth slightly open. I do that because it's quite funny to watch people do that, first of all, because it's quite hilarious, because everybody they're like, is this a joke? Yeah. No, it's not a joke. But it is a way to open your palate before you take a sip. So if you are new to whiskey, these things are good tips, because a lot of people, they see whiskey like a shot, because you see all the old cowboy films and things, and people just kind of knock it back before they go out and
Ian Wright's having a Jim
gunfight.
Beam.
Oh, I like Jim Beam. I like a good.
Are you having your
bourbon.
Coke and ice in that, I hope?
I like it with Coke and ice. So
Hello
anyway,
from a German. Ja, guten Tag, Sylvia. In Dublin.
But when you what was my train of thought? Oh yeah, they shot it back, and a lot of people try to drink it really quickly, and that's why it burns when it goes into your mouth and it goes down your throat. It burns all the way through, and that tends to put people off whiskey most of the time.
And that's part of the reason why you leave it in your mouth, because it actually it does get a little bit harsh, especially if you're not used to it. But the whole idea is to get that harshness out of the way. And because Catriona was talking, I kind of got rid of mine. So she's right. The first step is to kind of try and breathe in, smell with an open mouth, if you like. You put it in your mouth, you hold it there, and then the last bit that you do, which I haven't shown you, so I'm going to skip the step of actually holding my mouth. You're going to swallow it, and you're going to try and let the whiskey go all the way over the back of the throat, so that all of it goes down.
Yeah, I'm just drinking my water.
Okay.
Okay, but we've also got, they were part of my guests. The Sotos came with me on tour. Cheers to Maryland, or Maryland, and it's just Donna saying hello.
Hi, Donna.
Hi, Donna.
So once we've done this, you can give yourself a bit of a breather before you take the next sip, right? So from there on in, you can now kind of relax and start tasting the whiskey. You've got quite a burn down your throat. You've got quite a bit of taste in the back of your throat. And one of the other things that you can do is actually exhale. And if you exhale just after drinking some whiskey, those kind of fumes come back through your kind of nostrils, if you like. And then you get all those flavors back. And that's the time when you start thinking, well, what am I smelling? What am I tasting? So that's one way of doing it. Another thing that you can do, I don't necessarily recommend it with a kind of standard whiskey that is around about 40%. I usually recommend it when you're drinking a stronger one, a cask strength of some sort, and that is that people will put a few drops of water in it.
Well, that's what I was going to do.
So,
you wanted to give me some.
Do you want some? Which one do you want? You want to taste this one?
Yeah, give me the Arvin chair.
We'll get to this one in a minute. There's a reason this is on the table. Right.
No, nice. That's enough. Yeah.
So, to try and explain this, they tell you to put water in it, and what the water does, it at that point of impact slightly changes the molecular structure of the whiskey. There's a difference between, there's water added to whiskey, all right? No doubt about it. That's what brings it down to 40%. However, but it's been like that for years in a cask, so it's kind of all nicely melded together. Once you introduce new water to it, there's a slight change. There is also the fact that the amount of water in relation to the alcohol, or the whiskey if you like, changes what you can and cannot taste. So the more water you put in it, you might be hiding some flavors, but you might actually be bringing some flavors out. That doesn't mean you should be putting water in your whiskey, but it is interesting to know. And I'll get to the water and whiskey later, because that's always an argument, but there's actually some proper reasons.
Right. Know what you're talking about.
Right.
But actually, just Helmut's point about adding water, because I need to add water to most of my whiskey, and people, there are some people out there who get a bit snooty about it, but
that's
really,
what I'll explain.
But really, it's each to their own. The guys at Auchentoshan were the ones who first said to me, it's kind of like seasoning your food with salt. So everybody has a slightly different palate. And when you add a little bit of water, you only need to add a drop at a time. Usually we don't have our own pipettes here. Usually you'd have a little pipette.
You don't need one. There's a trick to it.
Okay.
You do. Have you tasted some?
Yeah.
You just take a small glass and a big glass, pour some into the one glass, pour it back out, and there's a few drops that's sitting at the end of it.
Oh,
and
there
that
you
you
go.
can throw in.
Never knew that.
One time shoe. Anyway, since Katrina's talking about... Since Katrina's talking about...
We've got Karen from Castle. Hello, Karen.
Hello, Karen.
Lovely to see you, Karen. We miss you. We miss going to Castle so much. We love yous. We do. Anyway. Since
Katrina brought up the water and whiskey, I will give you my £5 to it, not 2 pence. When you go to pubs or distilleries, visitor centers, there's a classic kind of put a bit of water in it, make it a bit more palatable, blah 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 blah. Fine, and obviously everybody has their own taste and has their own ability to deal with strong alcohol. Fair enough, but it wasn't until a distiller himself explained to me what the water actually does and why you put water in it that it started making sense. So if you have I'll give you the long story just to be boring. So if you have a whiskey like this one here, which is literally on the dot 40%, that means that it came out of the casks, they blended it together from their warehouses, and they created that whiskey, and then they dumped water onto it because it was probably nearly 55-60%. Then they dump water onto it until it's around about 40%. It has to be 40% to be a scotch, to be a whiskey, so that's why they do it. If they put in more water, it's not a whiskey, and if they put in less water, they can't sell as much liquid. Okay, so essentially that 40% is like standard, boom, here we go, this is how we can stay a whiskey and make and sell the most. But what the distiller explained is that what happens with the water, introducing the water after the fact to a whiskey, changes it every time, and the way that it kind of peels off different layers, and by hiding and bringing out certain flavors, you can play with your whiskey. The problem is with the 40%, there's not much more room to move. You do that with something that is a cask strength, right? Because there you've got strong alcohol content, and you can start from the beginning and say, okay, this is 60%, I'm going to taste it, okay, I like that, put a few drops in, it changes a wee bit, taste it again, okay, that's okay, put more in, put more in, put more in, until you're happy. Because there's a difference between enjoying whiskey and tasting whiskey. If you're tasting whiskey, you're trying to find out what you like, what you don't like, finding new whiskies, to enjoying one, because then you know, okay, I like this one, I'm going to enjoy it the way I want to. So there's a slight difference. The other thing is more personal thing, is that you know that these guys in these distilleries have spent years perfecting their art. Where in the warehouse, how long, which barrels, how the stills work, which shape they are, how much copper contact, all this kind of stuff. So for you to then go and change their recipe is kind of a bit of, you know, not very nice. Anyway, that's my personal opinion. Anyway, so where were we?
Each to their own.
No, because the next thing you're going to say is, yeah, I can put ice on it, and before you know it,
If
you're
you
drinking Jim Beam with Coke and ice.
If you want to put ice in your whiskey, you can put ice in your whiskey. You've bought it, you've bought that 20, 30, 40 pound bottle of whiskey. You can do whatever you like with it, guys. It's your taste. Yeah. Don't let these Puritans.
It's not about. See, that's the thing.
There you go.
Has nothing to do with being Puritan. It has to do with when you, for example, we are lucky in Scotland. We've always got a perfectly mild temperature, so drinking whiskey is always easy. You pour it in a glass, and you can drink it.
Is that Pamela?
If you're sitting in California with 40 degrees,
yes,
your whiskey is going to be too warm. So if you put in a couple of whiskey stones to bring it down, that's absolutely fine. But ice is a no-no, purely because you put ice in and you've got no control over how much it melts and how much water is being introduced into your liquid. So it's constantly changing without you having any sort of input over it. So whiskey stones are cool usually, but the pun there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there you go. So that was what did you think?
It was alright.
How can you say that?
It was all right. It was kind of sharp though. It
Yeah,
doesn't
exactly.
taste peaty at all.
No, this isn't peaty. So this one is a Van Girac. It's the most westerly distillery. It's on the Isle of Lewis, close to where they found the chessmen.
Yeah.
Of Lewis.
Was it? Is it
Yeah, it's not far from there. It was what, maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't far. Yeah.
And why I actually have this and have always taken it on tour is because this is a very young whiskey. This is literally just 3 years old, so it's just legally a whiskey.
Can I just interject, because we've got Cat Leith. I keep calling you Cat Leith. Cat now lives in Texas, but Cat grew up here, just across from where I am, and she was my wee pal, and then she moved to America.
But nothing wrong with you keep calling it either. I like it neat, but there are plenty of other ways.
Yeah. And then we've got Pamela. Pamela's in. Helmut's tried to get Pamela to drink whiskey.
Yeah,
quite
Pamela,
a lot.
if you started watching from the start, you might have been a bit further with your whole appreciation here. Pamela Stone.
Pamela. Love you.
That's right, Kirsty. Absolutely. Agreeing fully 100%. Absolutely.
Sorry, we just got
Her dad.
We just got, the distillery hadn't been selling whiskey yet when we were there in Lewis. Mick was just saying it wasn't open yet.
Yeah, I mean, this was one of very few bottles that we managed to get hold of. And actually what's in here is not even what's on the label. It
I
was
think that's a 3-year-old.
Yeah, this was a 3-year-old.
It's 3 years old only.
Yeah. Oak cask.
Did they say what age it is on the front?
No,
But
they told us.
They told us there. Michelle Grant says, "Have you tried Sam Huon's whiskey yet?" No, because it's not in Scotland. But
should we go there?
No, we shouldn't. Tastes like bacon, right, Pamela?
What tastes like bacon?
Whiskey.
But bacon is good.
Bacon is good,
what's the
Pamela.
problem?
What's your problem? No, I don't like bacon, so it's okay. Yeah, so just looking here. So anyway, if you want to try, then you were just going into the Arvin Girac.
I'm not. I've had this one. I don't need to drink it again. That's you. You tell people what you taste and smell. Go on.
So it actually tastes pretty sharp.
I'm just gonna get.
So I
glass.
think that comes from the.
It's because it hasn't been softened yet.
Yeah, it's not been softened yet. I think, but if you are a new person to whiskey, I think it's actually a good one, because it's not so defined. So if you don't really like that really burny taste to whiskey, it's a good one to try. Sorry, Pamela's just said that manky one you made me drink.
I don't know which one that was.
I don't know. Was it
only
Ardbeg? I think it
I
must
only
been
have
Ardbeg.
good whiskey, so I don't know what the hell that's all about.
Sorry, I'm just going to say it's awesome and nice smooth. It has almond tasting, it's some cinnamon and apricot. It's peach.
Which one?
The Sam Huon whiskey. Jennifer's just joined. Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer McKinney. If Jeremy's about, tell him I said hi. Say hi to the kids. I just want to quickly read what's on. We've still got John Soto, Cynthia in studio, and other folks have joined. Hello. Apologies, I can't read as far as the camera is there. And yes, so this one, it tastes more vanilla, and that's probably because you get a lot of vanilla from the bourbon casks usually, because of the vanillin. Is that right? Vanillin. I've done enough whiskey tours to know that word.
It smells so much better than it tastes.
Try it now. Honestly, try it and then drink your water. It's more like I opened the flavours with the water. Maybe you needed water.
The problem I have with it is that I've got a few new make spirits. So new make spirits are the ones, is literally the spirit that comes straight out the stills before it goes into the barrels. And then you've got this, which is only 3 years old. And from the taste of it and by the color of it, if you look at the color, see how light it is?
Yeah.
It is most likely not even in first full bourbon barrels. It's probably in second or third full. Because even after 3 years, you would expect maybe a wee bit more color than that. So you've got, it's not a new make, and it's not really anything matured yet either. It's kind of like limbo. But I like new make spirit. There's some really nice ones that you can buy now. Tobermory, the Glasgow, what are they called?
The Glasgow Distillery?
No, that's another one. The one by the quay. Clydeside, King's Barnes. There's one other one as well. And if you can buy them, do it. So I'm thinking that we jump straight into something more special. So I can't remember. I think this was a Bowmore. So this is a. Oh my God! Smell.
Right.
Smell.
I do like the smell. Oh my God.
Yeah. So
it
basically,
smells like fire.
No. So look, if you look at the color, I cannot remember which one this was. I thought this was Auchentoshan, but it's not. It's too low in percentage. It is. I think this is from Bunnahabhain.
It smells like fire though, guys. See the fire that's behind us? That's what it smells like. It just smells like that.
Yeah, but look at the color. I'll put something white behind it so you can see the color properly. How deep red it is. And that is classic sherry cask and a good long time. So this is 51.7%.
100 proof, hey?
That's
if you're talking
102.
about, it's nearly double from what I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to put it in a new glass.
Was that not right?
No,
you'll be fine. You'll live.
You've now mixed it with the Armageric.
Did you not finish that?
No, you never finished it.
Oh, I did finish.
No, you never.
I did.
No, you never.
I did.
Right. Okay.
I did, but there will be some remnants in it.
Right.
So anyway,
okay.
Now, what happens with this is that it's basically like, firstly you get a really sharp smell from the strong alcohol, but secondly you smell nothing but Christmas cake and cherries and raisins and wood, like a really strong wood.
I just smell Armageric.
No man, don't be silly.
No, it's not.
And you've got your nose mixed up there.
No, I'm kidding. I just want to quickly say, we've had a few questions. Everybody who's
background, yes, yeah.
Everybody who's putting in some questions, don't worry. In between getting the next dram, I will come in and answer some of them because I see we've got some there about Dalwhinnie Distillery and.
Ooh, Dalwhinnie.
I've
got Lizzie's dram.
What about Helmut's got Lizzie's dram?
Pull up Lizzie's dram on Dalwhinnie website.
Do you want to finish this one first, maybe?
No, you need to finish it. That's yours. I've got Lizzie's dram.
Yeah, but this is the one that's mixed in with the other one.
Just drink it.
Right.
You'll be fine. So Dalwhinnie, who asked?
Right. Ugh.
So Dalwhinnie,
like you're gonna have to finish that. You're gonna be so drunk by the end of this. It literally tastes like fire.
It doesn't taste like fire. It tastes like everything that is beautiful about Christmas and Scotland all in one.
It actually tastes like right.
With
see,
a bouquet of a little bit of.
See when you go into a peat house,
this is
right?
not peaty.
That tastes peaty.
It's not peaty.
Which one is that one?
I said I don't know, but it's not.
I've got a bit of peat at the back of my throat. It smells like when I go into a peat cottage.
No peat in that. Yeah, smell this again. You'll see what peat smells.
Yeah, I know what peat smells like. What's that one?
This is the island in Marno.
No, that's the one that's going to. Are you going to open that one in live television?
No, but here, where's the Dalwhinnie question?
Hi, Helen. Helen's just over in Skelmerley.
Who asked?
Mum, I'm not drinking anyway.
Who
I was
asked the
like
Dalwhinnie
sipping.
question?
We've got. It was. Hold on a wee minute. It was Michelle Grant.
So Michelle, Dalwhinnie is weird because they are supposedly the highest distillery in Scotland, They are in a place which has a tendency to get some of the coldest weather. Dalwhinnie is an ancient Norse name, which supposedly means the meeting place, the valley, the meeting place in the valley, something like that. And apparently it was also the town or the area where the first Highland Games were held. Official Island Games were held. And they've got some really nice whiskies, but they're really, really soft and easy to drink and mild. They've got the standard, what's it, the 15, and then the Winter's Gold, which is the only whiskey that you'll ever see sold with the catchphrase, put it in your freezer, right? So you're supposed to put it in your freezer and drink it ice cold, which is really weird. But if you do it, you'll see why. It is incredibly good whiskey. But actually, their best stuff, like most of the distilleries, is actually when you get to their cask strengths and single cask and kind of limited runs. So it's actually a must go-to distillery, actually. They've got some really interesting stuff. And they do, like most Diageo places, they will combine it with certain chocolates, high-end chocolates, not just, you know, Cadbury's.
Ian Burnett, the Highland Chocolatier. He's the chap who gives them.
Anyway, if you can, pull up Dalwhinnie, Lizzie's dram. So Lizzie was a employee there, and I think she had 1 barrel or something like that. I can't remember, or she was the one who blended this, and I managed to get a little bit. This is all that's left. It's a little bit precious. This is a really nice one, but again, it is super easy to drink. Dalwhinnie, Tomaten, Deanston. What's this? The Speyside distillery.
Which one?
I'm talking about ones that, for people who want to get into whiskey and want an easy start. These are kind of names that are really easy to go for. Some people say Auchentoshan. I think Auchentoshan is because it's got quite a fruity, strong kind of alcohol flavor. I think it's that one step from beginner. Auchentoshan is one of our favorite distilleries and whiskies, but I think for pure beginner, it's one step up. Saying that, Auchentoshan, the American oak, is probably the one whiskey that I've converted the most people with to actually go, oh, that's actually quite interesting.
It's probably one of the best starter whiskies
So,
out there. I don't mind it. I don't really like cask strength stuff. It was 51%. But guys, I'm not really drinking. I've had like 3 or 4 sips, like just palatable sips. So I have not been drinking.
I'm
and
having
I have
a pink
pint
gin.
of water. That's Helen and Skelmerley.
All right.
And we've got, I can't read, Marlin.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go. Hello. And Pete Cottage, haha. There you go. And just so you know, Michelle Grant was on our tour at Dalwhinnie. She made a stop at Dalwhinnie on one of our tours.
Okay.
That's why sometimes when we were doing the day 3, the Culloden Day tour, we go and we would stop. We sometimes stop at Dalwhinnie on the way back or on the way up, you know, just as a wee something different, especially if the weather's not that great. You know, nobody wants to be running about a forest in the rain. So let me just see, we've got some more comments. Anyway, it was to honour, the Lizzie's dram was to honour Elizabeth Stewart, who had worked at the distillery for 30 years and who was one of the first female operators in Scottish malt distilling. So doing it for the girls. So it's a very good one. It's got like 4 out of 5 stars.
That's really
and
good.
you can buy it like on the auction. It looks like it was going for about £80-ish, roughly £80.
That's roughly what I remembered being in at the distillery as well. Hi, Patricia.
So I just want to see. Barry was their guide. Giggle, giggle. So Jeremy, yeah, Jeremy's in. Guten Tag, Jeremy. Love you, Jeremy. And yeah, we've got Patricia on. So next, so I don't know if Helmut's mentioned, if you are trying a couple of different whiskies as well, they always recommend that you have a glass of water anyway. That even if it's just, even if
That's
it's
my
like,
glass, isn't it?
It is your glass. Even if it's like from the same distillery, if you're trying different expressions, it's a good idea to have a glass of water so that you can just clean your palate before you try it again. Because sometimes you can confuse yourself about what you liked, what you didn't like, what that was or what it wasn't.
Yeah.
So
also, we messed this up completely, because if you do have a couple that you're going to be tasting, you start at one and then end at the other. You don't go blah, 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 right? So you start with like something easy to drink. This isn't probably the easy, although this is fairly easy for Islay whiskey, but you would have probably started with something like a Tobermory 10 or something average, alcohol wise, and like a core range of a distillery. I would suggest Lowlands or Speyside for the, dare I say, the meek in the beginning, and then work your way up to something cask strength, and after that you only go to the peaty ones, because the peaty ones tend to be oilier, and the peaty ones, the peat also really sits, and you can taste it hours later still. It's like it really lingers. That is why some people love peaty whiskey. What are you saying?
It's just they had a good time with Barry last year.
All right, good.
And Michelle's just saying that the next time she'll be with us for Edinburgh and Skye. Love it, love it. We can't wait to get back to Skye and to Edinburgh. So.
Do you want to go for this one?
So guys, this is a really important one, okay? You are all going to witness the opening of... Wait.
You're going to do it.
This is like a really special bottle of whiskey.
It's not that special.
It is special.
No, it's not that special.
It's special because it cost a hell of a lot of money. This one...
This is one of my favorite whiskies.
How much did we spend in this bottle?
I think that was 120.
This was over £100, this bottle of whiskey.
That's not a lot for whiskey.
It's not always a lot for whiskey, but it's a lot for whiskey. It's a lot to spend on something that you're going to drink. So we haven't opened this one. And this is a Lagavulin Distiller's Edition. So this is the Distiller's Edition. It's double matured, and that's all it says. It says it was distilled in 2000 and it was bottled in 2016.
So it's a 16-year-old.
And it's...
Come on, let's do this.
Sorry, and it's to mark the 200th anniversary of, or birthday of Lagavulin. So it's a really important bottle, guys. This is a really important bottle. It's a really important bottle. Like, it can make me lots of money.
No, it can't. It'll make you more...
Right.
See, the thing is, it doesn't matter how much you paid for whiskey or how precious or rare it is. At the end of the day, it was made for one purpose.
Ian just asked if that's a portrait of me in the background. No, it's not.
It is there to drink.
Helmut just painted those behind. These are all Helmut's work of art behind me. And that's just some girl from a magazine. That sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it? It's just some girl from a magazine.
Centerfold.
In the middle of my living room wall. And then we've got another picture. And then we've got another picture, which is of Little Red Riding Hood that he painted. And we've got another girl, which you can't see at the moment, a blondie that time.
But you're gonna...
And that there is a photo manipulation that Helmut made over there. So there you have it.
I know you're not going to finish it, so I'm just giving you a wee bit. Is that okay?
What one is that one? The Lagavulin? Oh God. It's like Pete.
So Lagavulin, if you ever go to Islay, or if you come to Scotland, you want to do a whiskey tour, Lagavulin is an absolute must. I think they are a huge distillery. They make a lot. They're part of the Diageo chain, but don't let that fool you. I think they make consistently the best whiskies out there. They're one of my favorites. The Lagavulin Standard 16 that you pick up anywhere. But then you've got like the Face editions, the Jazzes, and some of their single cask and editions like this one, the Distiller's edition, are just incredible.
Oh, it's like proper heat. And we've just got some folks. We've got Karen, Slange. We've got oh, sorry. you try to slange me there?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Karen Lafroig, I don't know where you live, but if you can try and, I'm assuming that you're probably talking about the Lafroig 10, or was it the Lore, or they've got the new one, what's it, the four barrels or 4 casks.
Oh,
if you can try and get hold of the 10, but the cask strength, that is an incredible one.
Taste it. This
No,
is
Pamela,
sacrilege.
you
I
can't.
don't know why you actually put. What's Pamela after?
Don't. I've not actually checked.
You can, Pamela. I said you can have that one. He's
and
actually,
I said you can't.
You can actually have it. And the reason why you can have Little Red Riding Hood is because Helmut's got so many other paintings that he's been doing, and we need to find more spots for them. We've got another deer. You need to do another deer.
The quarter cask is no, I don't mean the quarter cask, but the quarter cask is great. The quarter cask is
some of the
we're talking about Lafroig. I was talking about the Lafroig 10, but you get two. You get the cask strength, and then you get the standard 10.
Yeah.
The 10 cask strength is incredible.
And
But the quarter cask is amazing too. Absolutely.
but also the one you Cardias.
The Cardias, yeah, but they've got editions. They've got every year roughly. Don't we still have one?
No.
Oh.
You drank it.
I drank one. So, anyway, don't you think this is incredible? Taste how smooth this is. I mean, for an Islay peaty whiskey, that's crazy. Drink it slowly.
I am drinking it slowly.
And keep it there. It's like, how do I explain it? So, what Lafroig does with the peatiness is weird because it's not like Lafroig where it kind of like hits you. It's not like Ardbeg, which is very overpowering. It's not like the Octomores, which are just like, you know, licking cigarette butts. It's balanced and it sits there, and it's because Lagavulin is so sweet and it has all these different flavors going for it. It's all kind of balanced and it all sits there and it just stays. And that's even with the kind of standard 16. What are they? £50 in the shops in America. I guess in dollars they're probably about $70, $80. But I think for the money you can't buy better whiskies, except maybe the Bunnahabhain. But that's the same thing. It's got this really perfection. It's like it's all there, and it just sits there. Anyway.
Yeah. So let's see. Patricia's saying that you have beautiful paintings.
Thank you, Patricia.
He does. So he needs to paint some more. We've got literally the whole wall. We've got some stags there.
The only reason I paint is because
there.
we're too cheapskate to buy art. It's DIY art.
He's got a lion there. We've got literally our hallway. So we've got leopard over there because we had when we moved into the house, because we're both originally from South Africa. I wanted like an African theme. And so Helmut painted all like African paintings, and then we've gone for like I don't even know what you call it.
Painting animals is too complicated and difficult.
There you go. Don't keep it there. That's how you tricked me the last time.
I don't know what that means.
don't know. I don't get it, Pamela. I don't understand your joke.
Pamela, I would give you that painting if there was some way that I can keep that werewolf thing myself. But I can't.
I don't think anyone can actually see that
they can't
painting,
see it.
sadly. Love the Kilchoman Isla wheat too, although I assume this isn't just Isla malt tasting. It's not just Isla malt tasting. We have here, we've got a Tobermory.
Yeah.
We've
Lewis.
tried the Dalwhinnie, and we've also got Lewis here randomly.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
what did we try? What's this one?
That's
Oh,
a
that's the
Dalwhinnie.
Lizzie.
That's a
And what's
Dalwhinnie.
this one? And that was the Bowmore, we think.
Great DIY art. So I'm a big...
He was an artist, like he studied art. He's just very, very bashful about it.
No,
As
because the
usual.
moment people just want you to do stuff then. And they don't want to pay you. Like, people don't want to pay artists. Anyway, so Kilchoman... I love Kilchoman because, again, they have this strength in their peat.
Hi, my brother's just
The peat
arrived.
sits
Hi,
there.
Jordan.
Hey, Jordan. The peat is strong. It's thick. It sits there. You know when you're drinking Kilchoman, and that's what I like about it.
She wants that. I think we'll have to give it to you, Pamela.
If she buys us another bottle of this, she can have
Yeah.
it. Because now that it's open.
She's like, what?
So anyway,
Oh, hi,
you know,
Laura.
I actually...
Laura's just arrived from Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Love you, Laura.
Laura will drink whiskey with me.
Laura, you'll drink whiskey with Helmet. I know you will.
Anyway, I actually had a bit of a thing planned with a
Sorry.
bit more information and stuff like that, but who cares? Are there any questions about whiskey, regions, tasting, legs, in whiskey terms, distilleries, warehousing?
Yeah, how whiskey's
Distillation.
made. Any questions about whiskey at all?
Whatever differences, bourbon, rye.
Oh my god.
Come on, that is beautiful. That is seriously incredible.
It's okay. I would probably take about 4 hours to drink that.
That's crazy good.
Oh, I miss you too, Laura. Miss you. She'll buy you any whiskey you want. Any whiskey?
You sure?
Don't say that. You could buy a bottle of whiskey for about £250,000. That's how expensive.
There's a
some
question.
whiskey
Where
is.
did you get your cute fox?
Oh, my little fox. My sister bought that for me for my birthday. And it's a lady that she knows, because she's an artist as well, and the lady does felting. So she got her to make me this fox and put it on a wee pin, and I thought I would wear it tonight because I've only worn it a couple of times, but it's my little fox. So thank
foxy.
you, because I'm foxy. Shut up. Right.
Bingo, Jamie. Thank you for asking that question. I've been wanting to talk about that.
Japanese whiskey.
Japanese whiskey. You can blindly buy them. They're all good. Literally, the only thing that I would say about Japanese whiskey is that, like everything Japanese, they overdo it with perfection. So what I mean by that is that when you buy Japanese whiskey, it's perfect. It doesn't have necessarily like this fantastic character that you can, like Lagavulin has a character, Ardbeg has a character. But the Japanese whiskies, firstly, they put so much effort and time into it, and they're constantly evolving it, and they're constantly changing. There's the famous quote, I think it was from Yamazaki, it's like, if you drink my whiskey 10 years from now and it tastes the same as now, we have failed. So they're in this constant pursuit of perfection and constantly trying to make things better. And even their blends, if somebody had to force me to drink a blend, I would go for the Japanese one, because the Japanese blends are as good, in my opinion, as a single malt. They are just, for me, and I've had the privilege of having had quite a few Japanese whiskies are incredible. I mean, Yamazaki was a winner a couple of years in a row. So absolutely.
Sorry, I just want to say a virtual hug, Laura. A virtual hug. We're all going through a pretty rubbish time.
No, Jenna, it isn't.
And she says, "Nice to see you too, Helmut." Jenna, she's joking with you.
It's actually a picture of me.
No,
about 10 years ago.
It's not a picture. That's so weird. It's not a painting of me at all. Looks nothing like me as well.
It's before I made the switch.
Yeah, before I have. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. Right, and then we've got Amanda. Hi, Amanda. Thanks for coming in. Just while you're drinking that, I just want to do a couple more hellos. Because I see we've got a few more. We've got Susie. Hello, Susie. Thanks for joining us. Donna Underwood. Sorry, Donna. Oh, well, that's a compliment. Thank you, guys. And everybody, so weird. I'm not that bad that I'll have paintings of myself on the wall, guys.
No, wait a minute. Because there's a story behind this, right? So I wanted to try this painting that your pal is talking about, that she wants, right?
The little Red Riding
Hood.
The
Red Riding Hood. I messed up the girl so badly in that I wanted to practice doing faces. So I found this magazine, and on the magazine was this typical perfect kind of female face. And so I wanted to use that to kind of practice doing faces. However, it looks nothing like the picture that I painted. It ended up looking like Olivia, what's that actress called?
Olivia Wilde.
Olivia Wilde. And so I had to kind of manipulate it to not look like Olivia Wilde, but it still looks a bit like her. So it's actually 3 faces removed from what it was intended to be.
I just want to quickly bring in, because Mark Ollinger said, yes, I've always wondered why most of the Campbellton distilleries are shuttered or shut. Guess just not enough of us to keep them going.
There's a good story there. Anne Graham. Are you talking about the Glencairns? There's actually a website called Glencairn, and they make them, and you can buy them straight off the website. You can even have them engraved with your name if you wish.
Mom.
But you can find these style glasses on Amazon as well. And they're not expensive. They're just good nosing glasses. You can also, if you want to appreciate whiskey and you can't get hold of nosing glasses like this, you can also use cognac glasses. No problem.
Okay, just the Campbellton question quickly. The Campbellton distilleries are closed. Most of them were shut. Campbellton used to be the largest whiskey producer in Scotland until Prohibition in the United States. And that basically killed it off entirely. So that's why you only have, 3 distilleries left in Campbellton now. And that's why I've got this really cool whiskey trail.
Sorry, I don't mean to be, but just before that goes away, Brenda, if your first whiskey experience was a Bovini 21, that's crazy. Because that's definitely not most people's first whiskey experience, right? That is one hell of a whiskey, that one. And quite pricey too. Anyway, sorry, honey.
I just said that, just about the Campbellton thing, that it's not because of any other reason, but Prohibition basically killed off whiskey in Scotland.
Yeah.
Because especially in Campbellton, we're going to lose everybody now on Instagram. We will maybe put you back up just for the session is actually going to go on for an hour and a half. Yeah, but I'd like to
finish the Campbellton one because that's
we will. So we'll keep going into that in a second, guys. I'm just going to end you. If you want to come back, do so.
I know, Jen. I remember.
Sorry.
I remember.
I got my thing fixed.
I do.
Sorry.
And it was Nachentoschen, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Right.
Are you gonna redo that one?
Yeah, just give me a moment, guys. Sorry, I don't even know where that camera bit is. Jackie Lowell McKinstry hasn't ever had whiskey.
In that case, I don't know where you're from, Amanda. But what I would
over here.
What I would suggest is go to your closest liquor store and get the cheapest single malt that you can find from distilleries such as any Speyside distillery, Auchentoshen, anything like that. It won't be a waste of money because it's a great introduction to whiskey.
We're back.
And at the same time, you know, if you don't like it, there will always be somebody who will.
You're back here, Laura. Good.
The Campbelltown story is apparently a little bit more complicated than just prohibition. There were apparently quite a few factors. One of the factors was that they essentially overdid it. You literally, by the turn of the 1900s, you had 33 distilleries in a town the size of, you know, a couple of football fields. I mean, literally, the town itself was one massive mess of distilleries. And so Prohibition played a huge part, but by the time Prohibition came in, a lot of them were already going downhill. And a lot of them already closed. Apparently it had a lot to do with the change in how things were transported. One of them was that the railway line fell into disrepair that went all the way down to Campbelltown. And because by that time a lot of the transport was already over.
No.
In the past, if you look at Islay, for example,
just 2 minutes.
They built all the distilleries on the coastline, and the reason they did that is because the majority of freight was done by water, canals and the sea. But by the time the 1900s came, a lot of that has swapped over to railways, and apparently there's prohibition, there's the railway lines failing, there's not enough interest in Campbelltown. Campbelltown was a kind of a Victorian tourist destination as well, so the tourists kind of took over from the actual production of whiskey. There's quite a lot of different reasons, but the ones that are up and running again, Kilkerran, Glen Scotia, there's also it is a must. We've now actually included Campbelltown in our Islay Whiskey Tour because Campbelltown is so important. I hear Sasha's snoring. Yeah, trust me, that's
who said that? It's because she's right underneath the camera. Sashi. Oh. Yeah, everybody can hear you sleeping.
Yeah. Oh my God.
She's literally just behind. No,
anyway, finish your whiskey.
She's right. No, I'm not
this
actually supposed to be drinking.
I didn't realise I actually have a
Kulila glass. Yeah. I just want to quickly read some of the new comments here. Helmet's going to get absolutely sloshed.
Can you read that one?
Anne asked you what your favourite whiskey was, but originally. So we're just coming back. Oh.
Well, it's right now I couldn't tell you because I get this question all the time, and there's only one way to answer it. We are lucky enough to have been to nearly all the distilleries regularly. There's always something interesting and new. There's always
the thing. They're always making every distill. Even if you didn't like when I first met you, you didn't like the Orkney whiskies, Highland Park.
Highland Park, yeah.
He didn't like.
But then I had a
Park.
distillery select one, and boom, there you go. So the problem is, like, for example, one of my go-to ones at the moment is Lagavulin 16, the Brunehaven Teutscher Chada. But now that this one's open, I can easily say, well, this is going to be my new favorite for a couple of weeks. So I think that's the problem, is that there's too much choice. You might have go-tos, but I don't think it's possible to actually have a favorite. when it comes to our favorite folk, we do Auchentorschen and the guys there that we've dealt with so far. You just can't find nicer people. Same with the Isla Distilleries, Lefroy and Bowmore. Funny enough, they're also mother company Beam Suntory. I forgot to mention Deanston. Deanston are always amazing. I thought I took one of the Deanstons out here actually.
No,
The Deanston, I've got the
Deanston do really good.
Sauternes.
Like they do the Sauterne and they also do
Oh, there is a favourite,
organic.
the brandy. The one that you didn't want me to buy.
Which one?
The one in the brandy finish. Gee,
Which one?
That was incredible. At Deanston.
Is
They
that your
had the-
favourite whiskey?
That was, I've never tasted anything like that. And also, I forget if Anne's watching. Anne, do you remember the Macallan edition 2 that we had on Mull? Crazy good.
Macallan edition 2.
Yeah, the one in the orange bottle. The Rocca brothers. That was it was like a combination of the Rocca brothers, the one wife, and the master blender or something from Macallan. Remember? It wasn't expensive,
Had
but it was
so
crazy.
many whiskies over the time. The thing that Amanda's asking what would be a good Father's Day whiskey.
Lagavulin, Kulila, Ardbeg.
No, I mean honestly, Amanda, it all depends on his taste, and
Wait,
what
wait,
he
sorry,
and what he
what-
likes.
What's he saying? I won't buy the one he wants since it's like $2,000. Pappy Van Winkle's. There was another time. So the stuff I tell you guys about whiskey, I don't suck 'em out of my thumb. I only relay what I've been told in the past. And there was actually a Stillman in Speyside once who said to me, you should never pay more than £50 for a bottle of whiskey. Anything over £50 is a waste of money. Over the years, I don't necessarily agree. I think 120. You don't need to spend over £120 to get an incredible whiskey. So £2,000 is probably not worth it. And my fear is that if anybody spends £2,000 on a whiskey, they do what Catriona does with whiskey and put it in a cupboard and nobody's allowed to open it, which is just a no-no, right? So
Hi, Carol.
I think the trick is to come to Scotland, to go to the distilleries, buy a special bottle there. The good bottles are somewhere between £50 and sometimes up to £400, but the stuff is insanely good. Lindsay Ardbeg, yeah, I mean it's a lot of people's favorite. They even had their whiskey in space.
He
so
likes
there
his
you go.
whiskey, his Ardbegs. I mean,
I like Ardbeg a lot.
it wasn't the no, it was the which one was
Uigedail
it?
is my
The
favorite.
Uigedail, the
By
Uigedail
miles.
Ardbeg,
And what was it? The Supernova.
the Supernova,
Yeah.
and there was also the Kelpie. The Kelpie, you love the Kelpie.
But the committee edition.
The committee,
The committee
release,
edition, not not the final edition. That was actually disappointing.
So we've got the whiskey reserve. It's called investment, just like any luxury items.
Don't encourage her. That's wrong.
I have invested a lot. We every time we go to a distillery, we like to get something which is from their special to that distillery. Or we go to Islay just before the Fèis as well. Sometimes they will have already got some of their Fèis editions, or just after the Fèis, and we can still get access to them.
Yeah.
So we usually buy 1 or 2 bottles of any Fèis edition from any distillery, for all the distilleries. In fact, I've still got the Bowmore. I think I've still got the Bowmore Fèis upstairs.
Yeah. And also we have the faces from Bunnahabhain.
We've got the Fèis from
Jeez.
Bunnahabhain. Oh God,
And
we've got a
Tullamore.
whole...
Yeah.
Hold on a minute.
But those are
Elvis
just-
got a whole box full of whiskey.
Now again, whiskey reserve. These are actually a little bit of money now, but I've tasted all of them, and I would rather drink them than sell them.
Yeah.
That's why I'm poor.
I like to sell them at auction, and some of them
Yamazaki 12-year-old agreed, but wait, try the 18. I know it's really expensive, but that was the prize winner. That was the best whiskey, I think 2 years in a row. Absolutely worth it.
Yeah, no, the most money that we spent on a bottle of whiskey was
Whiskey Reserves, where do you live? What's your number?
The most amount we
come and
spent
visit.
on a bottle of whiskey was £5,000. It was honestly the most we've ever spent on a whiskey, and it was a 50-year-old Auchentoshan 1957 sherry cask that and it was just yeah, I bought it just for selling.
Yeah.
Because it jumped in price, like it was already selling by the time I got like the second or the third last bottle. And
You want a refill?
it was, no thank you. And it was selling for about, at that time it was selling for easy about £7,000.
Yeah, but here's the worst bit about this story, is that by the time we bought that bottle, they had no tasters left, so I didn't even know what that bottle tasted
Not
like.
true.
Well, I didn't
It's
get
not
any.
true. But thingy.
You might be watching, so don't name names.
I won't name any names, but we got to have a little smidgen.
Well, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I know the other guy bought one got, but I didn't.
Yeah, because he was with me.
Yeah, but
I was with him at August.
But when we bought it, no, got it. Still sour.
With the Cyprus whiskey group. Is it still in the bottle? I don't know, because we sold it. We sold it to Cyprus.
No, Marianne, it's our German Shepherd snoring.
What did she say? Do you have
a ghost? She's lying right there and she's snoring, unfortunately.
She is. I want to actually turn it round so you can see her. Can I just quickly show you guys the dog? Let me just quickly show you the dog. Just give me a second. Here's this one. Right, I'm just going to quickly show you her. That's her. Having a wee snooze right beneath the camera.
Whisky Reserves, I'll check that out for sure.
There we go. And I just want to show our Instagrammers.
Careful with the cable.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm just going to quickly turn this because people think that we've got a ghost when really that's
It's
what we have.
Just a big snoring dog.
There you go. She's having a right snooze. Okay, so let me just get you back. Make sure that
You woke her up now, good girl.
she's not really awake. Okay. Et voila.
We're in Greenock in
Back.
Scotland. We're on the west coast. So if you want to send some 1964 Macallans, I can give you my address.
There we go.
We actually had access to what we believe to be a 50-year-old whiskey from Macallan through weird, roundabout, funny
Yeah,
ways.
we've got to be careful on that one. Don't publicise
Well,
that.
the thing is that there's no way of knowing if it was Macallan or anything, but all the people that have tasted it, we were absolutely sure it's Macallan, and we're absolutely sure that it is over 36 years old at least. And I still have a little bit of it. And the reason we've actually, the last batch that I managed to get, I think we know now how that is possible, is that it's really tanniny and it's got a very strong wooden flavor. So I think that the age is right, but it was a dud. They didn't want to sell it because it was too woody and it basically reject, and so they were passing it out in different ways.
Sorry, we've just got a few questions here. Helmut, what's the thank God the fire isn't real, or else Helmut would be swearing. No, actually, Jenna, if you know me, if there's a fire, I literally sit right next to it. I'm like a cat. I literally go and lie right next to the fire. But let's just quickly check. Randall Underwood says, what's the temperature there now? Do you mean because
nice.
we're next to the fire?
Katrina was creating ambience.
I was creating atmosphere. But the temperature in Scotland, today it was a good 13, 14 degrees Celsius.
No, yeah, probably.
So it was all right.
Mariana says, can you speak French? Yes, she can.
What?
You speak French?
Voila is French. Oh, did I say voila?
I think
I
so.
must have said voila. Je peux parler un peu français maintenant. J'ai étudié le français pendant 10 ans et à l'université et j'ai travaillé pour une équipe française à IBM. Mais il y a 10 ans, donc beaucoup de temps que je l'ai dernier parlé. Okay, so the next thing is excusez-moi français and excusez, I don't know, is that Spanish? So I think that's pretty much us.
Yeah. Well, you got to finish that on camera before.
Yeah, but I told everybody that I'm not drinking, and I'm not drinking.
That's
you
not
can
a
drink
lot.
both
No,
of it.
that's not a lot. Go finish it. I'll finish mine. It is, Randy. It absolutely is.
We're sitting right next to the fire right now. It's really hot. Il fait chaud. Il fait trop chaud.
This is a real fire.
Oh. The Whiskey Reserve.
This is.
It literally tastes like there's a good Scottish word. It's called sucking, which means like sucking, like sook. I'm sucking it in, and it literally tastes like I'm sucking in peaty water. Oh, people are just egging me on here to drink it. I said I'm not drinking.
Melissa, in what country?
Sorry, let me just see. Meant to mention my family is the exclusive importer for several Scottish whisky, including Adelphi, Bunnahabhain, Deanston,
To which country?
and Tobermory. Melissa came with us last year. Melissa is an absolute delight. We love you, Melissa. Actually, she was actually a Facebook friend as well, and I hope that we get a chance to meet you again. But that would be wonderful. But you're over in New York. Melissa's over in New York, so I don't know where your cousin is, Melissa, but...
Whiskey Reserves.
or sorry, your family.
I agree. Actually, before we started this call, we joined a Facebook group. It's actually a club in Washington, Isla Whiskey Club. And they had some special guests on. Some of the Isla boys. Mainly people who have to do with malt. They had like a topic. I think we should do that.
Burning.
I really do. It's a nice thing, and we've got some contacts in the distilleries that we can try and get into the discussion, because obviously things people like I say is second hand. It would be nice to have it from the horse's mouth and enjoy a dram with these guys, you know, because usually when we're there and making friends with them, they're working and not, you know, drinking.
So I was saying le feu est chaud.
Quarantine is very hard, Marianne. Very hard.
Quarantine, well, we've been making it work. I hope that we've been making some kind of happiness, sending a little bit of Scotland back to you. James actually also asked me if we're going to do a talk of Mary Queen of Scots. I will be doing a talk of Mary Queen of Scots at some point. I've just been kind of following the anniversary dates that have been coming in. So we had obviously Arbroath, then we had the 1820s, and then we've obviously had Culloden. So there will be other anniversaries, and when there isn't, I will throw in a Scottish monarch or two. But I will be doing these things as part of the series that I'm doing anyway. So guys who have already supported me, thank you. You'll be receiving my podcast the next day or two. It was just getting the stuff to upload. I have so much information and I do not want to send it all to you. So I'm going to give you all like your own access to a YouTube, our YouTube page, to special videos that I will have done exclusively for you guys. So thank you for all of that. You've kept me very busy.
I wanted to answer Amanda quickly. Amanda, no, we don't have a distillery. I'm just responding to one of your previous comments. I wish I've got a plan for my distillery. I need to have my first whiskey out when I'm 55, but I'm running out of time.
Well, Whiskey Reserve, definitely you're welcome to come in next time with us. Anyone's welcome to join in our chats. If you want to join in, we can try and do one of those split screen things. We haven't quite figured out how to do it yet, but you're more than welcome to join in.
I mentioned to him that we were having, that group we just joined from Washington.
Oh, all right. Okay. Oops. Wrong conversation, sorry.
No, it's on the same vein because, getting a whole bunch of people who like to drink whiskey and, putting a Zoom together, I think it's a great idea. No anorak talk, just
de rien, Bonnie, de rien. You're very welcome. Just glad to be putting some kind of light, just a little bit of, I don't know, just positivity, even though we kind of argue with each other. Just put a little bit of positivity out there, because it's quite bleak. I mean, we haven't had the news on.
No.
We haven't really had the television on at all in the past 2 weeks. No. Easy.
No terrestrial TV or any news channels or anything.
No,
like that.
We've kind of kept ourselves away from that, and just trying to. Obviously, we've kept fairly informed through big things, through just quickly going online and just quickly checking any headlines that are coming in. But aside from that, we've been pretty much of the opinion that you would just go absolutely stark raving mad if you were listening to every single update all the time. So if you're looking for something that's good for your mental health, just switch off the news.
Yeah.
Follow your usual routine.
Switch off the news and bugger off outside.
Bugger off outside.
Honestly.
Don't bugger off. What we mean by bugger off outside.
Open the door, go outside and have a walk.
Have a walk. See, and keep your social distancing as well. Honestly.
Yeah. So it's worth saying that we're lucky. We're literally at the end, at the last bit of our town, and behind us and beyond us is just farmland. So it's easy for us to just go out the door and have a walk with the dog and with the kids. And I suppose that we should maybe spare a thought for people who live in cities and in flats and who don't have that, because they don't have that freedom to just
go out.
Just go out. It's a real shame. I was talking to a neighbour 2 doors down. Fair enough. They're all kind of pensioners and they're puttering on every day with their gardens and stuff. They've not changed their lifestyle one bit.
No.
But he was saying the same, because some of their families, they live in town and they just don't have. I mean, we literally walk out of our door, and within 20 meters, it's farm.
It's just farm. It's just we went up there. So I'll tell you a story. I'll actually post the picture on the Facebook and the Instagram. Just at the top of our farm road, it's like literally, it's just behind our house practically. There is horses, and there's like 3 horses which hang about in this field. And we took the kids up, and I noticed it yesterday when we went up that way. And the one horse, he stands like on the other side of the field and he sees us coming and he neighs to us and he runs over. He does this whole like, nay, don't go.
And all he
runs
gets
over.
is like grass that the kids
He gets
pluck.
grass and but he gets cuddles and everything. The kids are very good.
That's true.
He's getting nice little cuddles, and I thought we're so lucky to have. We've got the lambs as well in the field behind us. All the baby lambs have just literally, there were 2 yesterday. And now the field is full of baby lambs.
Katrina still calls them lambs. I call them lamb curry, but
Lamb curry is terrible. See, this is why he doesn't drink very often.
that's why I'm not allowed on all the videos.
Right. So everybody's just kind of I know it's really tough. Like, I think if you are used to seeing, like, I know my mum, she was on as well, like she's really been missing the kids and her grandkids and my sister's kids as well. But we're so lucky to live in a time where we are able to do something more face to face.
It was Donna who said it, not me. I just
where we can see one another face to face, if not actually face to face. We're seeing each other through a screen, so we should be counting ourselves slightly lucky that we are able to do that. And it won't last; it will end at some point.
Wasn't
and
Donna...
we've got Francis. Hi, Francis. Hope yourself and Sheila are well, and the kids. Francis is the minister, one of the ministers locally here, and a chaplain at the kids' school. So anyway,
see, Donna, she wasn't on Isla with you, was she? She was just in...
No, Donna wasn't. Donna, it's from Scotland time. Donna knows Megan. Donna, didn't Megan take you around? I think Megan took Donna around.
Because we're talking about whiskey and Isla, and I was like lambs, and on Isla you get a really mean Irish stew. Again, lambs serve a purpose.
Anyway, so it's just I think that's pretty much it for the Isla chat, the whiskey chat.
Yeah. Unless anybody has questions.
Anyone got any more questions before we go? It is a Saturday night for us after all. We don't want to be keeping you too long. I know, Idaho. Idaho, that's where one of my friends is living now. Let's see.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, no, but I think you did go with Megan. I've got this recollection of you and Megan folk. I took Megan to Isla.
My island.
My island. No, it's my island.
It's my island. Hello. You know who I'm talking to? Blondie girl.
Angus steaks and a good gin and tonic.
Mm.
Oh, you haven't met Megan yet. No worries. Hi Blondie. Hi Dragonfly. They've just come in, and Amanda just saying have a wonderful night.
Yeah.
So.
But wait, honey. Sorry, no. You gotta finish this in front of the camera before this ends. Sorry. That's not a lot.
I mean,
Catriona, I said I was going to do a whiskey tasting tonight and blah blah blah.
And
Catriona decided
wanted
to join, so now you're joining, which means now
I wanted to see everything.
To finish it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that video with the wee kid.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's just I shouldn't be drinking alcohol because I'm on my diet.
That is nothing. That's nothing. Live video post. We can.
It's probably just the connection.
Yeah. Actually, she holds it pretty well. The last time I had whiskey, I was the one who didn't hold it very well. That's another story, which we don't need to go into.
Excuse me?
No, I'm talking about me, not you, remember?
Oh, yeah. But I thought you were talking about my
No, I'm talking about...
escapade at the unit.
No, that wasn't whiskey.
No, it wasn't whiskey.
It was gin. Good night, Michelle. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for joining.
Much appreciated. Well, exactly, Donna, and that is why I stick to whiskey. Maybe different types, but whiskey and water. Unless water is mixing drinks.
My ladies, my Texas ladies actually, 2 years ago we did the Hebrides and Skye and Hebrides, and then we went to Pitlochry.
If we don't end this, I'm going to have another one.
Do you know what just meant?
No, you have to finish yours.
Anyway, every night they were having a wee whiskey or a wee gin or even a wee vodka or something, and because I wasn't driving, it was a bus tour and I was just on the bus, they were giving me, they were trying to give me alcohol and they didn't have anything to mix it with, so I never had. She's like, I'll just mix your gin with some water. I was like, it's fine. Marsha, I love you. Anyway, oh, shh, Pamela. Pamela's telling everybody. That's a secret, Pamela. That's a secret, Pamela. Nobody's allowed to know about that.
Not once, Pamela, but twice.
No.
I'm surprised there wasn't a third time.
Oh dear.
It was more like in the Matrix when they go and he goes, oh, I saw that cat twice, and go, oh, that means there's a glitch in the Matrix, because that was literally like once and the same thing happens again.
It was our Christmas party, guys.
No,
it was our Christmas party. Ross was pouring all the measures, and
again, now it's Ross's fault.
Yeah, it was because he was pouring like that much gin.
You don't know
like
that.
And that much lemonade. Well, he must have done, because I only had like 4. And I fell over a table twice, guys, in a row.
The same table in exactly the same way within 1 minute.
Yeah, but that was quite far into the evening, so I wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad. Anyway. So, anyway, guys.
Pamela, I think we all watched it in slow motion. Especially the second time, because we actually knew exactly what was happening. And we watched it again. In disbelief. And only you would bring that up in public.
Thanks, Pamela. Love you so much. If anyone doesn't know, Pamela is one of my besties. One of my besties. There's four of us besties, and she's one of my besties.
She also works for a pharmacy, so if you ever need any, like extra
hangover pills.
No, like I don't know, stuff.
Oh God, what's he on about?
Say, Pamela, I'm sure you can, have access to some extra stuff.
Oh God, Pamela's need. Like, Pamela, I'm gonna tell your boss.
I'm kidding, obviously. Come on.
She's like, Pamela's lying there like that, going, "Oh my God."
Isn't like meth made from all sorts of stuff that you can cook up from a pharmacy?
Oh, helmet.
What?
This is not that type of flaming conversation now. I think he thinks we're not in the right company here. We're in more sophisticated company right now.
Anyway, okay, I'll tell you what. If you're not going to finish yours, I'll finish yours.
Oh, Pamela knows where all the bodies are buried. I can tell you that much.
See?
Actually, guys, if any of you were on the My Peak Challenge in 2017, the event in Glasgow, Pamela helped organise that. She helped me out with that, and she also packed all the lanyards. She sat there, and she was also at the gala and signing you all in at the gala. So you might remember Pamela if you were there. She was sitting with me at the top table, if you can't remember. Pamela, do not encourage him. The fox is cool on my clothes. Thank you. I love my little fox, actually. My sister knows me so well. Yeah, I don't think you would realise that's what you were going to come back to, Chris. Anyway, folks, I'm just going to wait for Helmut to get his drink, and then I think we actually are going to call it a night, because we've been going on for so long. And we'll be back tomorrow for just a little bit of easy listening. I might read some poetry. Bam was like that. I'm definitely gonna tune into that. I might read some Scottish poetry or something, just to get us in that Sunday relaxation. And then Monday we will announce the next chat, and it's probably going to be on
well, maybe
out.
it's time to you know, I mean, we need to maybe ask the guys what they want to know.
Yeah, what do
you know? More whiskey, or more outdoor stuff, or more history stuff, more castle stuff, more, you know, let them guide where this goes. We'll read poetry just for you. What kind of poetry, Pamela? This is where I don't want to answer.
No, right? This is a sophisticated conversation. Okay. So, you guys on Instagram have no idea what's happening over on Facebook right now. It's
somebody joined.
One of my best pals joined, and the whole level of conversation has dropped quite considerably.
But that is why we love you.
I love you very much. So anyway, thank you everybody for listening. Helmut thankfully finished that, because I am on a special diet. I'm not even allowed to drink alcohol. I'm only allowed to... Oh, what I am allowed to have though. This was my only little treat that I was giving myself. Do you want a piece?
Please.
It's a piece of chocolate cookie. I got that earlier. It's very good, isn't it?
Mm.
Got it from the co-op. Double chocolate cookies.
What? Why? What the hell? Talk to your friend.
What's she talking
about? Donna. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. No. Mm-mm.
Anyway, I hope you're having a good Saturday, a good Sunday morning if you're over in Australia and New Zealand or further away. Thank you for taking part. Let us know.
Good night, Ian.
For more, if there's other things that you would like to watch or listen to, i.e. if there's a part of Scottish history you'd like more information on. I've done quite a few videos now on clan history. I can do something like that again. Genealogy again. Slightly off, slightly different topic on it, or just go further down that line. We could go into art, we could go into anything really. So if there's something that you're interested in Scotland, it could be a Scottish island like we spoke about Isla. You might want to talk about Skye. We could do Skye. We could do Iona, Mull. There's quite a few things we could do. So yeah, thank you very much for being here, and we'll see you again. And I look forward to I hear veggie. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's not veggie chocolate, but because Catriona brought out the chocolate, one last thing on whiskey. Good dark chocolate pairs really well with whiskey.
There you go. We're going to end on that note.
I do, Pamela. I do.
Right, this is just going to... I think you and Pamela need to get a room. Anyway.
Pamela's the only one who's nice to me. That's why.
Oh, no, she's not.
Anyway.
Right.
This was wonderful. Guys, thank you for joining. I hope this was not just weird, but also a little bit educational in the first half an hour, at least. I love malt too.
Yeah, we're gonna go into the topics. So if you just keep posting them as we go along, and or send me messages or write in the comments here.
Yeah.
I will look at that and we'll put together a special topic. We tour all over Scotland. The only thing we won't do is Orkney or Shetland.
And if you want to see me, keep the topic whiskey. Otherwise,
yeah, if you want whiskey, you'll see Helmet. If you don't want whiskey, you won't see Helmet again. Aww. Good tip.
Absolutely, but it has to be really like heavy dark chocolate. I think they're saying something over 70%.
Yeah.
Cocoa at least.
And sometimes like orangey chocolate.
And anybody who likes seafood, pair your peaty whiskey with oysters, mussels,
yeah,
crayfish.
That'll be another chat. I think we're gonna do a pairing chat. We could do a pairing whiskey chat. Okay, guys, that's us been on for nearly 2 hours. So I think it's time we go. So thank you. I look forward to seeing the comments. And take care. Bye.
Bye bye. I don't know what you said, Pamela, but I'm sure you'll